Hello, my name is Terrell Harris, one half of the leadership team of the Open Box, where our vision is to make wholeness more accessible. Today, we're starting a two-part series entitled Faith and Tattoos, and we'll be taking a look at two of the tattoos I have on my left arm. The first tattoo we're looking at today is from Matthew 14, where Peter decides to take a leap of faith, step outside the boat where Jesus is walking on water, and walk towards Jesus himself. Now, in the tattoo, we see Jesus on the right-hand side, or a depiction of Jesus, and we see Matthew outside of the boat, and the Bible doesn't let us know how many steps that Matthew actually took before he decided, or before he started to sink, but we do know that he walked on water, and that the prior to getting outside the boat, we know that the winds and the waters were rough, and as Peter is walking towards Jesus, he lets that distract him. So as soon as he sees the wind and gets a little bit distracted, then he starts to sink into the water. Jesus reaches out and grabs his hand, and then they both walk back towards the boat. Now, regardless if you believe that Peter and Jesus actually walked on water, this is actually a great story about faith. I think oftentimes, especially for me, I take a risk, or we tend to take risk towards some things that God has for us, or towards some things that God has spoken in our lives, and we get to moving and we get to stepping, and we actually, we know the situation that we stepped into is going to be rough going in, and as soon as we start taking steps or moving towards that goal, it gets a little bit tough, and then we start losing our faith. So I would say that this is actually a good metaphor for how we live life and how we live our faith. But because we have this story to reflect back on, we have to remember that Peter did some pretty amazing things already. So for us, as we take the leap of faith, the leap is not the thing that we have to look at. I think we tend to get distracted by the risk that we take, but we actually have to realize that there's miracles in the first few steps that we already took as it relates to the goal or the thing that God is telling us to do. So for me, a personal story, oftentimes I get in these job situations as an entrepreneur, whether, I in between jobs or in between contracts. And, it was a leap of faith to start my own business. But then I also have to realize that, regardless of me not having a job for months at a time, that I'm always taken care of. My bills are always paid. And it was me realizing, or me looking at this story and realizing that the steps I took were already miracles that were leading me in a direction. So, I tend to get in this, I tend to get like Peter oftentimes too, and forget about the previous steps I took. So I actually got this tattoo as a reminder to realize that, the first few steps that I took were already miracles, although, the times may get rough, and the wind may come, and the waters may get a little bit rough as well. We and I also have to realize that I'm already doing something miraculous. So keep pressing towards that goal. So the message here for you today is take a leap of faith. When you take a leap of faith, you have to realize that those around you may not support you. They may never even say anything. They may never give any support to you or say anything, because the other disciples said nothing. But in taking that leap of faith, you're stepping towards your purpose. You're stepping towards your goal. So stay encouraged. Remember that those first steps that you took towards your goal and towards the things that God has for you is a miracle. And even in the midst of your struggles, God or Jesus will reach out for you. Jesus or God will grab your hand and will walk you back towards your goal. And even on top of that, you're still walking on a miracle. So stay faithful and stay encouraged. And I hope this message helps. Peace and blessings. And we'll speak to you later. Thanks.